Day 2 of the Pune Test match between India and South Africa, a day that was dominated by Indian batsmen. One batsman in particular, Virat Kohli, getting to his 7th double ton in Test cricket. Here's the scorecard and how the day panned out then for the Indian team. 601 for 5 is what they declared at. Not much dividends as far as the South African bowlers are concerned. Rabada got you 3 on day 1, but after that you had Maharaj picking up 1 wicket and Muthuswamy getting the other one, and Ravindra Jadeja missing out on yet another test. And chasing that, South Africa already lost 3 wickets for 36 runs and now trail India by 565 runs with just 7 wickets in hand. You are watching ESPN Cricket for Matchday. I'm Nikhil Nas in the company of Ajit Agarkar. Let's start with Virat Kohli. 254 not out. In the form that he was displaying, could very well have gone and got his first triple hundred as well, but that wasn't to be. For the sake of the team, declared at 601 for 5, the Indian team. Ajit, let's talk about Virat. And yesterday we spoke, 10 test innings he's gone without getting a test 100. You mentioned the words ominous signs, and there they are. Not just 100, he's gone and got you a double 100.
Yeah, could have probably got 400 if he'd had time to bat on. Obviously, the wins there for the taking for India now. So, look, you could just see yesterday when he walked out, he felt he had missed out on an opportunity in Vizag, especially in that first innings, getting out, of a nothing ball really. And the one thing, you could keep talking about is batting all day long, about how he approaches his inning. Again, the first hour and a half today gave a lot of respect to the South African bowlers. There was a little bit on offer with that second new ball. Was lucky a couple of times that the Knicks didn't carry. But once he gets through that phase, the one thing about him is his determination, his drive, and with the intensity never changes. Doesn't matter whether it's his first run or his 200th or his first innings of the series or the last innings. And at least been watching cricket all these years, I found it very difficult to relate it to too many batsmen that I have at least seen. The intensity with which he plays every series, every game, which is very difficult to match. I mean, it's always at 100% or 120%. Sometimes with his, you can see it in his body language, the running between wickets, even after getting a double 100, those sorts of things. I think it's unmatched, the way he's gone about his test career, and it's incredible. You could just see that he wanted a big one. The first 100 runs obviously had to work hard for it. After that, tiring bowlers, slowish pitch, softish ball, everything in your favor, just cashed in. And again, if any young players watching there or youngsters trying to follow cricket, it's a great example of once you're in and you've got an opportunity to get some runs, get a big one, don't let it go away, and he's a master of that.
Right, Ajit, interesting. You talk about that determination of Virat Kohli. That is what has taken him to records after records. That's what he notched up on day 2 of this test match as well. Let's take a look at the 7,000 runs that he's reached. He's the 4th quickest to get there in the number of innings. 4th quickest, joint alongside Kumar Sangakkara and Gary Sobers. The only men who've done it quicker than him, Virender Sehwag, Sachin Tendulkar and Wally Hammond. That's not the only record that Virat has got. With 7 double tons, he is of course the highest when it comes to an Indian batsman of getting those double tons in test match cricket. But on the overall list also, he's at the 4th spot. The only man ahead of him, Don Bradman, and then you've got 2 left-handers in Kumar Sangakkara and Brian Lara. Just taking a look at the records of Virat Kohli. If you take a look at his test career, another interesting stat was first 40 odd test matches didn't get a double 100. The next 40 odd gets you 9. This tells you he's played this test career in 2 halves, and what a second half it has been for him.
Yeah, again, just the hunger to keep scoring runs, it's second to none. I mean, you feel that at some stage, okay, he had that one series in England, and that wasn't because of lack of hunger or determination. He just, at that point, he got found out a little bit. The English bowlers bowled well at him. He's gone back in that next series and scored 300s in that series. So, just doesn't. I don't think there's, at the moment, clearly, if you take all 3 formats, I don't think there's anyone who comes close to him. He's clearly the number 1 batsman. In Test cricket, Steve Smith's probably ahead of him, in my opinion, just a little bit. I'm sure that's egged him on a little bit because everyone's been talking about how good Steve Smith's been in Test cricket. That's look, the conditions later on were in his favour. The bowlers were tiring, but he didn't throw it away. Made sure he got a double 100 and 250. So tells you how hungry he is to score runs. I think records will keep sort of tumbling. The more he plays and at the rate that he's scoring, they'll come even faster. I don't think that is of concern. It's just that his intensity just doesn't drop in all three formats, which is an astonishing thing, especially at the intensity that he plays.
Yeah. Interesting you talk about that battle between Steve Smith and Virat Kohli. At the moment, Virat's gone past Steve Smith as far as total runs are concerned. But take a look at that average. If Virat is 50 plus, Steve Smith at the moment 60 plus. And that's an incredible little competition happening between these two. But talking about competition, one thing that we're not seeing a competition is the bat and the ball, especially taking a look at the figures of South African bowlers. I mean, you mentioned this yesterday. There's Rabada and then there's a difference of class in the rest of the bowlers. Yesterday he got you 3 wickets, so South Africa was still in the game. Today he doesn't get 2 wickets, and then you see the difference between the two.
Yeah, I think the only way they could have come in the game if they had got about 3 wickets in that first session, 3 maybe 4 wickets in that first session, and kept themselves in the game. Once they didn't do that, they were very disciplined. Philander and Rabada both at the start had a few play and misses, had a couple of nicks which didn't go their way. But I thought they weren't aggressive enough at the start. They were way too disciplined. I think both the Indian batsmen played them really well. There was movement on offer. Perhaps they could have been a touch aggressive. There wasn't a single bouncer bowled in that first 45 minutes to an hour. Yeah. Even though there was a little bit of movement, I think just watching from outside, you felt that to change their mindset to the batsmen, maybe they could have tried a little bit when they were fresher. Once that spell went through and the Indian batsman was set, it was always going to be harder. With South Africa having already bowled so many overs in this 3 innings, no matter who you are bound to get tired as the test match progresses. There's a lot less in the pitch after the first hour and a half, so things start getting a lot tougher. I don't think they have a spinner of real quality which can trouble these Indian batsmen. So everything was against them once they didn't get that wicket in that first hour. So even tactically at times I felt they were a little bit too defensive. You can pick on things, once you don't get those early wickets, everything just starts looking more and more difficult. That's why you've got to give credit to Ajinkya Rahane and Virat Kohli for that first hour with the way that they played.
Okay, now one thing that the South African seamers didn't do, the Indian seamers seem to have done rather well in that short spell that they got at the end of day 2, 36 for 3 at the moment. Not taking anything away from Umesh Yadav, but those weren't deliveries that were, you'd call Jaffer or put the batsman too much in trouble. Some lack of application, you'd say, also from the South African batsman.
Tired legs as well, I guess, for an opening batsman, but as a bowler, you've got to get it in the right areas. He got it full straight. Umesh has enough pace that if you are marginally late as a batsman, you are going to miss that. So you've got to give him a lot of credit. Maybe not so much to Markram, because a lot of bowlers will be trying to do that. As a batsman, you want to keep that out. So I think when you've been in the field for 150 odd overs, it's never nice to come for an hour to bat, and if the bowlers get it right, you always have a chance. So, Umesh Yadav has been a little bit unfortunate. I think he's one of those guys who always gets labelled that he doesn't do enough, but his record in India is exceptional over the last few years, and he's one of the guys who's he's always had to do the donkey's work when it comes to playing in Indian conditions, and he's delivered. So I'm very happy for him that he's got the reward today with 2 early wickets, and then Shami just showing what a different bowler he is at the moment, how confident he is. He looked like he was bowling on a different pitch to the rest of the bowlers, almost like how Rabada was yesterday. Exceptional again.
Okay, we haven't seen any of R. Ashwin's ball being delivered. Yeah, he did get a chance.
I'm not sure why, but
yeah, but whatever little we saw of Jadeja, now this will be of a lot of interest for Indian fans to see how the Indian spinners perform, because I'm guessing that would be very, very important as how this test match progresses. Whatever little evidence you saw of Ravindra Jadeja not really turning the ball much.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen over the years. I know he's a 200 plus test wicket bowler, but we've seen over the year if the pitch doesn't help him, I don't think he has the necessary sort of variations or the guile that maybe R. Ashwin has. So different sorts of bowlers. But what Jadeja does is give you a lot of control. What he's bowled 4 overs, 4 maidens, and as soon as a batsman makes a mistake, he's always there because he's so accurate. But if there's not too many demons in the pitch, batsmen, once they are a little bit set, find him a lot easier to play than they would find Ashwin. India would hope that there's a little bit more in the surface. Tomorrow is the 3rd day. Once we see Ashwin, we'll probably find out a bit more, because Jadeja's a different sort of bowler, and even overseas, I think he's preferred these days because he gives Virat Kohli a little bit more control. He's not as attacking as some of the other bowlers, but relies on variations from the pitch a lot more.
plus is now getting Virat Kohli lots of runs as well. Missed out on 100 today. Ajit Agarkar, thanks so much for joining us. It's all downhill at the moment as far as the South African team is concerned. How will day 3 pan out? Will someone play innings like Elgar played in that first test match? That's the only way South Africa probably would be able to save themselves in this test, because 600 plus India already in the driver's seat.